Hi, everybody. It's me, Teresa. Welcome to Teresa Gets Married. It's finally happening. My ultimate love bubble day. Just love, love, love. My hair is cushioning any bad thoughts from getting into my brain. Or any thoughts. Nothing's getting into my brain. Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 13, Episode 16. Teresa Gets Married. Well, yes, the episode that we've all been waiting for. Just kidding. No one's been waiting for this episode. In fact, a lot of you aren't even watching this episode. So yeah, I may have done this for nothing. I hope I didn't. But hey, it was fun. This will be kind of a quick recap because there isn't a lot that happens other than her wedding, and there's certainly not too much drama other than, I would say, a little bit of fabricated drama. But in any case, it was an interesting wedding. It's certainly a wedding I wish I was at because it looked kind of amazing. We begin with like a lot of confessionals with Teresa and Louis. And in one of them, they're reminiscing about the first date they had. And so we get a flashback to the first like on-camera date when he came to pick her up at her old house. And I'm remembering like how queasy that date made me feel. He was weird. But also I'm reminded how much I miss those front doors. Gosh darn it. I still did not crack the code on what the hell they were. I feel if I had just one or two more seasons, I would have figured it out. As it is, I am still thoroughly confused. I mean, from the handles with these giant, like, are they ribbons? Are they supposed to be like angel wings or something? Not to mention the actual texture of the door, which is like half smooth with like a jagged edge, and the other half, I don't know, what did we settle on? Razor burn, or was it like a freshly plucked chicken? Hard to say. Anyway, like I said, during this confessional with Teresa and Louis, we're getting like the full trip down memory lane that unfortunately goes beyond those front doors to that weird boat trip where they had trapped that saxophone player, and then Louis had that giant scroll of all the things that he loved about her. What was that, her birthday? I don't know. It was weird. If I'm not mistaken, they made that saxophone player hold that scroll up while he read all these stupid things to her, including, but not limited to, how he loves her voice. Her voice. Side note, we are also witnessing the progression of his redness. It's shocking to see how pale he was in the beginning when he first started dating her. And then he just got progressively redder and redder. Louis regales us with a story of his proposal in Greece. He's talking about all the details that went into that. And Teresa chimes in with, yeah, I guess the Greeks don't understand English very well. And they were supposed to wait until I said yes. But all these fireworks started going off before I even said it. Okay. I mean, that's wrong on so many levels, but even if they aren't fluent in English, do you really think they don't understand the word yes? Okay, so now it is one day until the wedding. It's the rehearsal dinner. And oh, you guys, there's so much to unpack in this first little scene here. It's Teresa and Louis' confessional. Louis says, well, I mean, it's easy to fall in love with somebody's best qualities, but my faults, Teresa loves them just as much. Okay, well, that's doubtful. I'm not saying you can't love someone in spite of their faults, but who would say they love the faults just as much? I guess it would depend on the faults, but still. Nobody loves your faults just as much as your good qualities. Then Teresa says, well, you don't have much. She means faults. And she also means many, but... And then Louis says, yes, I do. Like, you know how I sit down to pee? But, like, she loves that. Teresa, I like that. What and why? Okay, first of all, weird flex, dude. But second, again, why? Why do you like that? And third, why do you know how he pees? My husband and I have what I would consider to be a happy, long, successful marriage. Due in part, I believe, to the fact that I don't know how he pees. You know why? I'm not in the room. Yeah, peeing is something my husband can do all by himself. Okay, now the guests are arriving to the rehearsal dinner. We see Dolores and Jennifer. Teresa says, it was hard telling my daughters that Tio Joe and Tia Melissa weren't coming to the wedding. Then we see like an hour ago, Gabriella's like, Mom, so Joe and Melissa aren't coming? And Teresa goes, no. She's like, did he send you a text? No. Did he call you? No. She's like, that's the least he could have done. And Teresa goes, no, I found out through Dolores. Gabriella's like, terrible. Yeah, I mean, I don't love that. In Teresa's confessional, she said, it's painful that my parents are gone. I would have loved for my brother to be here. Well, that's a great soundbite, but it's not exactly true, is it? First of all, we know Louis doesn't want Joe there. He told us that last week, or the week before. He doesn't want Joe anywhere near his mother or his sisters. Yeah, he doesn't want that pig energy anywhere around them. And when Dolores came over and told you that they weren't coming, you said you did me a favor, thank you. And you told Louis you were relieved. So, you know, I'm not quite buying this. It would have been nice if my brother was here. I really wish he was here. You might miss him, but you don't want him there right now. You just want things resolved in your favor. You just want him to leave his wife, spend more time with you. Basically. Okay, so now Louis tells us that his groomsmen are his 2 sons, his brother, his 2 business partners, 3 friends, and 1 vampire. Yeah, because he can picture Bill Aiden in his life for pretty much forever. Well, when you're talking about a vampire, I mean, it will be forever. Be careful what you wish for. And then Teresa says, I love my bridal party. It's my 4 daughters, Carrie Ann, that's her assistant, Dolores, Jennifer, Louis' sister, Jennifer, and my best friend, Rosanna. Again, we hear that it's everybody who has been with her on her journey and supported her, rooting for their love, ignoring red flags, you know. That kind of thing. So next scene, we see a little sit down with Dolores, Jennifer, and Gia. Jennifer's like, how's your mom doing? Like, legit, for real, how's she holding up? And Gia said, I mean, basically the only thing stressing her out is my uncle. In Gia's confessional, she said, when I found out he wasn't coming, I was just like, wow. At this point, it's like you just really did like completely burn the bridge. Like, it's over for everybody, including me and my sisters. Yes, I know, that was my Sheena Shea voice, but also she kind of sounded like Sheena. Dolores tells her she feels bad because, you know, you can't move forward when you don't let things go. And there's so much that's built up over the years. Yeah, I mean, look, that is part of the problem. How long has Teresa and Melissa had animosity between them? In Dolores' confessional, she's like, it's sad because I can remember how close Gia was to Joe. We get some heartbreaking flashbacks, and it is just so sad to me that the kids are involved in this more than anything else. I think it kills me that their children are now involved. I mean, obviously they can't have a great relationship with their uncle if their mother is feeling hurt by him, you know, and then that means that the cousins aren't going to be close anymore. You know, this is going to be a generational thing now. It's sad. And I'm not sure they can figure it out either. Okay, it's time for dinner now, and Louis' mom is hugging them. Teresa, of course, thinks of her own parents. She says she wishes they could have met Louis. And this I found interesting. In her confessional, Teresa said, my mom would have loved him. Like, she didn't want me to be with Joe. She wanted me to be with someone that, like, talks sweet to me, treats me like a queen. Oh, so not someone that says, here comes my bitch wife, and then calls you, see you next Tuesday? Maybe threatens to shove you up against a wall if you don't shut your mouth. Huh. Surprising your mom didn't want you to be with him. But also, your daughters have to hear your little confessional and stuff. I'm not sure they love that their grandma never wanted you to be with their dad. I don't know. It's so complicated, you guys. How's my hair holding up? Is it leaning? I'm afraid it's going to start leaning. Whoop. There goes my crown. Anyway, Louis's father makes a very nice speech about how he can die and go to the casino in the clouds, knowing that Louis has Teresa to have his back. All right, now it is 5 hours until the wedding. We're in the glam room. Side note, the clear gel face masks are freaky. There's just no other way around it. They just are. Lucia is the one who's doing Teresa's iconic hair, and Priscilla is her makeup artist. She's in a little mask of her own. Teresa considers both Lucia and Priscilla to be family. They've been together for 10 years, have always supported her, yada, yada, yada. So this scene, I'm not sure the point of it other than to ruin Teresa's makeup, or at the very least, just make her face red and puffy. Maybe to match Louis. You guys, you can't even see the rest of this wig. How long it is. But, I had to get this. It's hard to get it all in the shot. All right, moving on. So the reason I think this is just meant to make her cry is because first, she gets a text from this woman who worked at the hospital and helped her take care of Nono. And this thing is just a tearjerker from start to finish. And it's long. It's a really long text. But it is just about how this is your big day and your parents are there with you every step of the way. And it's just, like I said, it's a tearjerker. That's the first thing. Second, Priscilla, doing her makeup, decides to bring up Joe not being there. She's like, yeah, so I heard your brother was talking about not coming. And Teresa goes, yeah, he's not coming. Priscilla, what? So let me get this straight. Your only sibling is not showing up. Yeah, Priscilla. Why are you more upset than Teresa? And also, what are you trying to do on the bride's wedding day? You're the one doing her makeup. You, of all people, should want to, keep her eyes dry. Anyway, Gabriella, who's also in the room getting her hair done, a lot of people are. She hears Joe's name being mentioned. She starts getting upset. In her confessional, Gabriella says, on a day he's not present, I don't feel like he should be present in our conversations. My mom should be able to enjoy her wedding in peace. Good God, now Priscilla is reminding her that it's her only brother. Do you want to start her makeup all over again? Is that what's happening? Do you get paid every time you do it? Now Jennifer shows up into the glam room, and she's wearing a tank top that is bedazzled with the words Aiden Plastic Surgery. Very reminiscent of Luann's Mrs. D'Agostino tank top. Do you remember that while she was getting ready for her big wedding? Ladies, please say it's not about Tom. It was about Tom. Yeah. It's also about Louis. So run for the hills, ladies. There's still time. But also, what is with this? Why is she advertising Bill's business? Oh, has the business gone down since the affair became public? I wonder. He's got her out shilling for him now. All right, well, free advertising on your wife's boobs. Did you do the boobs? I don't think he's the one that did her boobs, though, is he? Maybe someone from his office. Wait, did he? I kind of remember something like, I couldn't imagine cutting into my spouse, even, obviously, if I was a surgeon. Because, there have been days that I thought about it. Kidding. Totally kidding. I'm just saying, as a surgeon, I guess you really kind of compartmentalize things, but when that's the love of your life laying there and you're just slicing into her flesh, I feel like maybe I couldn't do that unless it was an absolute emergency. You guys, this is itchy and sliding. I'm doing my best, though. I'm not complaining. I am, but I'm trying not to. Sorry. Anyway, like I said, she's wearing this t-shirt advertising her husband's. Oh, you know what? Maybe because it's a high-profile wedding. Maybe she thinks there's a lot of potential customers here. I don't know. Unclear. What is clear is that Jennifer is here as the third attempt to make Teresa cry on her wedding day. She gives her a gift, which is really quite lovely. It's a brooch and it's got the picture of her parents in there and like a little heart. It really is sweet. And why was this girl not asked to be your bridesmaid earlier? I mean, she threw a shower for you. Now this. Has Carrie Ann done all that for you? I doubt it. Just kidding. Carrie Ann must be a saint for being her assistant. I'm not knocking Carrie Ann, believe me. So anyway, while Teresa did love that very much, it did not make her cry. So now Jennifer has to try attempt number 4. She goes, I just wanted to say I'm so sorry for telling Danielle about Melissa's cheating rumor. Yeah, let's make sure we mention one more time on camera, Melissa cheated. So she's like, I feel like I played a part in them not wanting to come to your wedding. Well, to be fair, they never really wanted to come to the wedding, but they were going to come. So yes, you did play a part. But apologizing for that now, just a couple hours before she walks down the aisle, I'm questioning that timing. Okay, so all attempts have failed. Teresa is not crying. I shouldn't say that. The very first, the letter from the woman that took care of Nono, that did make her cry. But none of this other stuff is making her cry. She's like, it's okay, because I'm done too. Unfortunately, Gabriella hears Joe being mentioned yet again, and she gets upset. She's like, I don't want to hear his name. Now I think it's Melania. She's yelling. Why is she crying? She never cries. She never cries. Why is she crying? Why is Gabriella crying? So it's the yelling that Teresa hears. Her and Jennifer are in like the next room. They're both like looking at the door like, what's happening? You can hear Melania go, no, this is when I get pissed. Why is she crying? Jeez, how about you go ask her in a calm way? Comfort her. Like, why start yelling and get your mom upset? That feels selfish, no? Like, go calm your sister down and you guys hold it together until after the wedding. Now we check in with the guys. They're broing out a little bit. And now the bridesmaids get to see Teresa's hair for the first time. Teresa said that she picked out the headpiece, so we can't blame Lucia. She wanted the hair to be big enough for the crown she picked out. So that's what led us to this. The reactions are funny, though. Lucia says there are 1,500 bobby pins in her hair. And Louis' sister's like, aw, that's nice. Are you looking at the same thing we're all looking at? Jennifer keeps saying it's so good. Like this is some sort of a tactic to like prevent her from accidentally blurting out what she's thinking inside. Oh, it's so good. No, it's good. It's so good, Teresa. It's so good. It is. It's so good. In her confessional, Jennifer said, you know, I'm a team player. Like, go Teresa. But hair is supposed to be an accent piece, not the main event. We get a confessional with all 4 of her daughters. And Gia's like, obviously it's big. But they're all just like, yep, mom's beautiful. I mean, not that they should have said anything else. It's her wedding day. And the Chiron says it took 3.5 hours and cost $10,000. Yikes. In contrast, $9.35 in roughly 22 minutes. You guys that have been with me from the start know that my whole thing is that if I am dressing like someone, I mean, obviously the idea is to over-exaggerate, but also I try to create whatever look I'm going for with just things I find around the house. That's kind of, that's my deal. Because I know I'm not going to make it look good enough to look like a direct like replica. So the crown, of course, is just aluminum foil. But I did have to buy the wig. So I bought the cheapest one I could find, which was about $9. I know not everybody cares about this. I just have like some giant Velcro rollers inside there. And then that was my base. And then I just like built everything up around that. And here you go. Okay, then we get Dolores' confessional. Would I like it to be lower? Yes, but Teresa looks beautiful. She can pull this off. And yet, she didn't. It was on her head all night. Okay, so the guests are arriving now. We have Margaret, Jen Fessler, and their husbands, Ashley Darby, Danielle and Nate. In Danielle's confessional, she said, "If I knew what I said was going to be the reason that Melissa and Joe didn't come to the wedding, I never would have said it." Okay, but you had to know it wasn't going to be good. I mean, you know. Anyway, more guests are arriving. We see Frank and Britt, Jackie and Evan. And then we hear Margaret go, "Jill, you look beautiful." And just as I'm about to say, "Thank you," I realize she's talking to Jill Zarin. So yeah, she's there too. All right, the bride and bridesmaids are done getting ready. It is 93 degrees outside. The wedding is taking place out on the grounds of this. I don't even know where it is, but it's beautiful wherever they are. And most of the chairs are like in the direct sun. So everyone is like fanning themselves and desperately searching for some shade. All right, it is showtime, people. The wedding is about to begin. Bridesmaids walk down the aisle, looking beautiful, every single one of them. Stunning. Then we have these violinists coming down the stairs, and they're playing Ave Maria. Real classy like. No, I'm kidding. It is very classy. I'm telling you, all kidding aside, this wedding was beautiful. Okay, then the doors open, and Teresa is just standing there, her head down, and she slowly looks up and comes walking down the aisle to Ave Maria. It's long. It's a long procession, and she's alone. And I have to tell you guys, it's strikingly beautiful. I love it. I mean, yes, would it have been wonderful if she and Joe had made up and their relationship was great and he walked her down the aisle? Yeah, of course. But she also could have, like, had Louis's dad or just picked somebody else, one of the other friends there or something. But she didn't. It's just Teresa standing on her own, walking down the aisle. I mean, symbolically, it's an A+. The fact that she's walking toward Louis, that drops her down to a D-. Now we're getting more reactions to the people that are just seeing the hair for the first time. In Margaret's confessional, she said, "The closer she got, the bigger the hair. I was expecting doves to fly out of it." And then Danielle goes, "You know the saying, the higher the hair, the closer to God? Well, God's looking up at her at this point." Even in Louis's confessional, he starts laughing and he goes, "Her hair's standing up like 3 feet." Okay, so they exchange vows. Veronica, one of Louis' sisters, was the officiant, and I feel like she did an exceptional job. A little corny at times, you know, "Louis, will you commit to never having the bigger closet?" Stuff like that. But all in all, like, you could hear her clearly. She had great stage presence. I don't know what she does for a living, but it was very, you know, smooth, and she didn't stumble on her words. It was really nice. And she even ended by saying, "I now pronounce you wife and husband," which I thought was kind of a cool touch. Unexpected for Jersey, of all people. They're very patriarchal. Okay, so now we're seeing more housewives who are there. There's Cynthia Bailey, Dorinda, Phaedra, Alexia from Miami, Kenya is there. And at one point, Margaret, Jen Fessler, and Jackie are talking. And Margaret, who was crying throughout the ceremony, and she was, Jen Fessler's kind of making fun of her. And she said, "Well, listen, I just keep thinking about Joe. We're here and they're at home." She doesn't feel like dancing the night away because of it. She wanted to show up for the wedding for Teresa, but she's sad about the whole thing with Joe. So she's just not in a festive, celebratory mood. All right, so this is like the drinks before dinner time. And Teresa and Louis have gone up to their suite, and Teresa's going to change into another dress. Meanwhile, Margaret says she's just going to wait until she sees Teresa again, and then she's going to, you know, dip out. My Vanderpump Rules people know what I'm talking about. And then everyone's phone starts blowing up. Danielle, Jen Fessler, Jackie, Jennifer. They're all looking at their phones, and we see headlines. Disrespectful, unapologetic. Joe Gorga slams Teresa. Melissa and Joe Gorga unbothered and unapologetic. An hour away from Teresa Giudice's wedding site. Unapologetic for what? not attending. Then we see Melissa's Instagram stories. It's like I don't know, it's nighttime. I don't know where they're at. It looks like a beach house or something. I don't know who's in it. It's hard to see all the people, but they're like dancing and having fun. And she captioned it, ... way better than a wedding, with a laughing emoji. And then I don't know if it's Melissa or somebody in the video says, this is what real family does. Okay, then there's another headline. Joe Gorga says blood doesn't make you family during Teresa Giudice's wedding weekend. Maybe that's his new tagline. Okay, so we see what it is. It was Melissa's sister posted a group picture of all of them, and Joe reposted that saying, blood doesn't make you family, with the drop of blood emoji, which personally I like to reserve that for Bill, but to each his own. And anyway, supposedly that was the night before. So there's a lot. And in Jennifer's confessional, she's like, wow, he can't just let her have her day. He's got to bash her on social media. This is supposed to be the happiest day of her life. She can't see these posts. Question, did they all just post at the same time? There were a lot of them. Also, they were from the night before, so it feels very contrived that like everybody's looking at their phones at the same time, like everyone just got a Google alert. It's weird. I don't know why everyone is just seeing them now, and all of them all at once. Anyway, upstairs in the suite, Louis sees them as well. And he goes over to Rosanna and says, oh my God, if these people post one more thing, I swear to God, I'm going to bury them so bad. Okay. Then we get this weird camera shot, like from the floor. We see a cameraman walk up and he sets his camera down on the ground. But what's weird is we're seeing this through another camera, obviously, that was already on the ground and is just facing a wall. I don't understand it. I wonder if like there was some agreement that they wouldn't like film up in the suite or something like that. I wonder if, I don't know. They're still mic'd because even though we can't see Louis and Rosanna, we can hear them talking. It's weird. You just hear Louis say to her, he puts out one more message and I swear to God, I'm gonna, and then you just hear, bam. I don't know if he punched a wall. I don't know what happened. He's like, not coming to the wedding is really fucked up. Oh my God. You didn't want him there. Teresa said it was a relief. I don't understand you people. Rosanna's just like trying to calm him down. Poor woman. Don't let them get to you. Anyway, he does say he's not going to tell Teresa. Thank goodness. Here she is. And she is in her second dress and her first hair still. Yep, this hair is going the distance, people. Unlike mine that I feel is falling off of my head, Teresa's is going the distance. I don't know. Perhaps that's the difference between spending $9 and $10,000. A few more bobby pins. Meanwhile, downstairs, the burlesque show is going on. Yeah, there's some wild entertainment. We are starting with like a woman in pasties doing some gymnastics, I guess, more than dancing, I would say. There's also a Cirque du Soleil kind of thing happening. Someone might be on stilts. I don't hold me to that, but there is also something like that going on. In Teresa's confessional, she said, I want my dancers to have on the least amount of clothes possible. She had some wild ideas for this wedding. I'm just saying, this was not the only crazy thing there, which is exactly why I would have loved to have been there. So after Teresa and Louis come downstairs and, present herself in her second dress, Margaret and Joe and Jen Fessler and Jeff Fessler sneak out. I feel like they're going to be missing a hell of a wedding reception, but maybe they've seen enough already. Also, I feel like Margaret wanted to leave to feel like she was being loyal to Melissa and Joe. Because other than Dolores, who I feel like is pretty neutral, Margaret is the only one that's really Team Melissa. Jackie and Jen Fessler are not going to be at the reunion because they're friends of this year. So it's really just going to be Margaret, and Margaret's on the same side of the couch as Melissa. So I just feel like, hey, I just thought of this. Was Rachel there? There is a part of me that feels like I did see her, but I it was just fleeting if she was on camera at all. So anyway, I just feel like Margaret is kind of laying the groundwork for the reunions. That's just my guess. She doesn't want to look like she was having the time of her life at Teresa's wedding while Melissa wasn't there. Okay, so now it's time for the first dance with Teresa and Louis, and they're dancing in just a cloud of dry ice. It looks very beautiful. And then everyone's dancing on the dance floor. This is all before dinner, which feels weird, right? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been to a wedding, but anyway, dinner's being served now. There's a sword swallower. I don't know where to look. Honestly, you guys, there's so much stuff happening here. It's amazing. Teresa's 4 daughters get on stage and give us a very sweet speech to both of them. Gia's talking about Louis, thanking him for treating her and her sisters like his own children when their own father can't be there for them, and how much it means to them. What she didn't mention was how she felt about him wearing Nono's pajamas. So, not sure. You guys, I still think that Louis and Danielle should collab on a collection called Nono's Bougie Pajamas, right? In children's sizes. Could you imagine? I would love to see a toddler in grandpa pajamas. How cute would that be, though, honestly? Sometimes I accidentally have the best ideas. All right, so now Louis and Teresa, well, Louis is giving a speech. Thank you, friends and family, for coming. Thank you so much for being here. Teresa, chosen family. Yeah, she has to correct him. Well, I mean, okay, but some are actual family, Teresa. Does he really have to call his mom his chosen family? Maybe she just meant that she wanted him to say family and chosen family and not friends. Anyway, too close to the mic, she adds, "Love you guys. Thanks for coming. Love, love, love." Now it's time to cut the cake with this like little sword. And I have to tell you, Teresa first pretends like she's going to swallow the sword. And I think it's the most I've ever liked her. Because that was cute and funny. And she has too few moments like that. So whenever she does something that I think is kind of adorable and funny, I'm going to call it out. Anyway, we end this fairy tale episode with them back in their confessional together. And I guess they're asked what they see for the future. And Louis just says that he's looking forward to, his blended family and spending more time with all of them together. And also, he's looking forward to being grandparents with Teresa. And Teresa's like, not yet. And that's it for me, you guys. That is the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for being here. Next week starts the reunions, and I think they're going to be rough. They're going to be really rough. From the previews I've seen, I feel like it's going to be hard to recap because I sense that there's going to be a lot of crosstalk and it might be hard to make sense of all of it, but I will do my best. I will be there. I hope you guys are there too. And before I go, just a couple reminders. I am an Amazon affiliate, and from now until June 18th, Amazon is giving bonus credit for any purchases that you guys make, so that helps me out. If you go to the description box below this video, click on more, click more again to open up the whole description box. You will see some links I have to Amazon. You can click on any one of them. It doesn't matter if you buy that thing or not, as long as you're logged into Amazon through me, then I will get credit for any of the qualifying purchases that you make. So thank you for that in advance. And also I wanted to remind you guys that I am taking a brief hiatus. Of course, I'm covering the 3 reunions, but at the end of that, I'm going to be taking at least 3 weeks off. I haven't decided yet because I'm going to be working on updating my channel a little bit and making some decisions about shows that I want to cover. And again, if you guys have any thoughts on that, I should say that it doesn't necessarily have to be Housewives. It does, however, have to be reality TV. I don't want to recap a scripted show. Part of the fun to me is talking about real people and, crazy things that they said, and not crazy things that a writer wrote for them, if that makes sense. So, but it can be other things, I'm a huge, huge fan of Sister Wives. I know, it's so wrong. And last season was amazing. So I do think they're coming back for another season. It's going to be weird because he had 4 wives and he's down to 1. So technically, he's not even a polygamist anymore. There are no more sister wives. So I don't know how it's going to be, but that's going to be kind of interesting. If you guys think that might be something you would like me to cover, I don't even know when that season starts, but just any thoughts that you have, let me know. I know in the past some of you have talked about like Below Deck. I've never watched any of those, but that's a possibility too. Anyway, I just wanted you to know it doesn't have to be Housewives and like Sister Wives. It doesn't have to be a Bravo show either. So anyway, oh my God, you guys, I'm losing my head here. It keeps sliding back. And you know, I had this intention of making the hairline low. It would not stay on like that. So, okay, that's it for me. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. Also, please consider clicking on the bell icon to get a notification every time I post something new. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And the reunions are next week, so I hope to see you there. Bye.